Yeah.
So you're going to give us your story on what?
You want the dying story?
Do you have a paranormal story?
Well, that kind of ties into that.
Okay,
so,
then let's do that story.
Okay, so...
All right, hit me yours.
This was probably, I can't remember, probably 10, 12, 13-ish years ago. Wow, those drops just keep coming. You know, so is there going to be a guy talking on this one? Because when the guy was doing that, you know, oh, make some noise, that it kind of threw me off. You know, I'm sitting here talking, and then there's, make some noise, you know. So,
I love doing
like
that.
fucking X-Files. So, you know, I was really, really hardcore into drugs for probably about a good year. And typical Ricky, lazy ass, I had a big old 8-ball of cocaine in my house, and I had nothing to fucking do. So I'm on MySpace, chop that motherfucker up.
Whole 8-ball.
And I downed it in about 10, 15 minutes. And usually, you know, that's your...
Holy fuck, I would be like, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, you know, I was just, you know, having fun with it, making like swirly lines on my desk of it. And then,
Jesus,
so it's
dude.
like I'd knock out some of it, you know, go look at something online, be like, okay, knock out some more. So I ended up being up for about 2 days straight. And... I was like at the top of my steps. You know, I was just walking around my house for like legit 48 hours. My wife went to work twice. You know, this whole time she's like, "You're still up?" I'm like, "I'm just walking." You know.
All right, Rich, cut this music. This is too funny.
You know, so
bring it back in when it gets paranormal.
Okay. So anyway, you know, after about hour 40 of this, just walking around, you know. So about hour.
I remember those nights though, where you're just so high on coke and you're just like, nope.
Yeah,
no like amount of weed's gonna bring me down.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. You know, I'm like calling my dad. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. It won't go away. He's like, do a couple shots of whiskey and that'll calm you down. I guess
you drink like a fish when you're on coke. At least I did.
I don't remember half of it. My wife's like, yeah, I went to work.
I never did that much at one time.
She's like, yeah, you were walking around the house, and then I had to go to work in the morning. I came back. You were still walking around the house. I went to bed, woke up the next morning. You were still walking around the house. When I came home, you were starting to slow down, but you're still walking around the house. And so anyway, about hour 40, this epic trip of walking up and down my stairs, the heart stops. I collapse. Top of my stairs. I kind of fell down the stairs a little bit.
Ooh.
And... You know, you see I saw, just like it really picture a really foggy day. You know, you're on like a picture a football field. Okay. Dense fog. You can't see more than 10 feet
yards.
In front of you.
Okay.
You know, something like that. Like super dense fog. And picture you're in one end zone. At the very other end zone, you see a shadowy figure of a wall.
Well, I wouldn't see that because I can see only like 10 yards in front of me.
Well, but it's it's not clear, but it's kind of like fade. You know, you can see something
like some ominous,
an
ominous shape.
Yeah, okay. Out there, you know, and then walls going out until you can't see that. You can't see the ends of the walls, and there's a gate. You know, and then
that's what you seen, like a gate.
It wasn't like the pearly gate. It was like almost like a horror story gate.
Yeah.
You know, it was dark and, kind of like a shadowy little, something moving, walking back and going back and forth in front of the gate. You know, they were just like
quick like that or like slow?
Like walking speed.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Like just pacing in front of the gate.
Just like, you'd have a bunch going this way off into nothing, bunch going that way into the nothing. Yeah, until you can't see them anymore because they're so far gone.
Okay.
And then, I assumed that was, maybe the spirits or whatever it was that haven't gotten into heaven yet. And they're dead, but they're kind of in that weird...
purgatory stage.
Kind of purgatory stage, where they can't get in. But I'm still like 90 yards away. And I remember feeling it's not my time to go yet. You know, it wasn't something anything was said to me or anything like that. It was just kind of like a unconscious kind of like almost like a memory of somebody saying, you know, when you think of a memory, it's kind of just that kind of vibe.
Isn't that weird?
Not time to go.
Yes.
So then I, you know, kind of pop out of it. You know, I'm back at the bottom of my stairs and my heart's still like this. I get up, start walking around. My wife said I was down for probably about 5 minutes. She was about to call the ambulance because she couldn't get a pulse out of me, and I wasn't moving. She was like, I was
for the first 3 minutes, she was bitching at you.
Probably. You know, so she's like, you know, you weren't moving. You know, I was kind of kicking you and smacking you, and then you kind of just came to. You know, you'd have like a pulse for like a half. You know, you'd start beating for a little bit, then it would stop. Right. You know, and so I got up, you know, like, you watch the movie The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie?
No, I haven't
when they jab the adrenaline into Nikki Sixx and he just kind of like,
oh yeah, those,
like that.
Yeah, what are those things called?
The adrenaline
shot?
Right into the heart kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was the kind of thing, like, I woke up and I'm like, you know, stood up and I was still boom, 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 and walked around for a little bit more. Again, top of the steps, freaking collapsed again. Same thing happened again, but this time I heard my dad. Because he had died in a car accident about a little before that, and he's like, "It's not your time yet.
It's not your time.
It's not your time yet.
Time to go."
And it was kind of like, "It's not your time. Straighten your shit up.
Straighten your shit up."
And so then I wake up out of this thing, and for probably about the next year or two, I had the most debilitating anxiety. Anytime I came around any kind of substances, like I couldn't drink without having debilitating panic attacks. I couldn't have a cigarette without having debilitating panic attacks. And I think that was like my dad's way of saying, straighten your shit, clean yourself up, you know, and get right, you know.
Yeah, so like you came back and then you had all these signs of like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, and for about 2 or 3 years, every night I would have a dream about my dad. He would be in there, you know, like lessons kind of shit. Hey, you have a wife, man up, go to work, do what you need to do, clean up, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
And then the last time, you know, and this was like every night, the last dream I ever had with my dad in it was, okay, you're all right, I'm going. I'm going to be gone. And I have not had a dream with my dad in it since. Wow. So I think that might have been my dad in that purgatory area, and he had to fix his dipshit son. And once that was figured out, he could go.